Why do I have to do 9? You're on your table? Okay, I was thinking at tablet, but okay. I guess I must have put my next spawn point. Yeah, that's what I said. Why can I never find spots for these? Team 1 wants a short one. Yeah, I am not sorry. Team 2. They both have 5. But I can't place anymore. Come on. I'm trying to delete that. I'm not my dad, so I can't play on my PS4. Okay, it's fine. Okay, I'm done. Let's go back to see how long it is. There we go. Yeah, I can definitely play this. Maybe because I have different headphones, I don't know. Why did I do that? You're there now. first time using a minigun. It's actually really funny. Fun. They're all still alive. All those people just fell down and they just stayed alive. Harrison, do you think you'd like this game? Because I want to know. I want to test it again. It's so fun. One more time, Carson. It's too fun. Yay! I built this myself, by the way. I'm gonna publish this now. Oh boy. Play safe. thing and I exited. I want to go back to it.
So much is the location that they chose to record in and when. Instead of waiting until after hours when they were above ground, they decided to stay inside the mine and shake, shake, shake. In fact, the video, which is on YouTube right now, has about 1.5 million views. In fact, you can see the miners on the ground in 10 inches of gross, muddy water. The unsafe environment was one of the biggest reasons why their bosses were like, you're fired. In fact, everyone was fired, not just the people involved, but those who didn't even choose to participate. Number 9 is shark wrestling. Fish are friends, not food. Back in 2013, a charity worker named Paul Marchelsea decided to go on a vacation and travel to Australia. He ended up on a nice beach when one day he saw a shark swimming near other tourists in shallow water and wanted to be a hero, so he did something that most people wouldn't do. He actually decided to wrestle it, dragging it back out to deeper water. Coincidentally, an Australian news crew was there to record the entire thing and put it online. The video immediately went viral, which led to his employer seeing it.
Hey there, you stop being goofy in class. Get anywhere being a goofball. School. Some say it's the best time of a person's life. Others, especially people who are currently students, might not think so. When I think of school, I think of friends, learning, cafeteria food. Others think of homework, pop quizzes, or surprise dodgeball tournaments. Then there are some that immediately devastating punishments that they've received, and trust me, they're way worse than you're ready for. And some of them have even been documented. So let's jump right into it. These are the 10 harshest school punishments in history. Number 1 is holding hands. On November 28, 2012, the principal of Westwood High in Mesa, Arizona, gave 2 14-year-old male students a choice between 2 punishments for fighting in class. Their choices were either face a suspension or hold hands for an hour in front of their classmates. They both chose to hold hands and were publicly humiliated in front of their peers who mocked them, questioned their sexuality, and took photos and video on their phones. The punishment was given by Principal Tim Richards, who of course was later criticized by parents for the punishment's degrading connotations towards homosexual students. I would absolutely hold someone's hand for an hour and be like, yeah, at least I'm not getting suspended, and I still made a fart joke. Who's really happy? Number 2 is permanent marker on the face. Oh yeah. On November 5th, 2012, in Declo, Idaho, Declo Elementary School teacher Summer Larson decided to punish a group of 4th grade students who didn't achieve their required reading goals. 9 students were given a choice between staying inside during recess or allowing their classmates to draw on their faces with markers. 3 students chose to miss out on their recess, while 6 were drawn on with permanent ink. When the students arrived home, their outraged parents reported the incident to the school board. Summer Larson was promptly fired from teaching until September of 2013, when she was evaluated and accepted back by the school. Well, hopefully they gave her a choice just like the students got. Either she remains fired, or they get to draw a big fat dick on her forehead. Seems fair to me. Number 3 is paddling. Paddling has been a punishment in school throughout the United States for more than half a century and is shockingly still legal in 19 states. Long and flat wooden panels or fiberglass paddles have been used to spank the misbehaving students' butts or the backs of their thighs in some cases, inflicting painful bruising. In the 2006-2007 school year, believe it or not, a reported 517 students were paddled in public schools across the U.S. A study done by ABC News estimated that an average of 20,000 students are treated at hospitals each year from injuries that they received from paddling. Would it be barbarian? What is this, the darkies? What are we hitting kids for with paddles? You say that for the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Number 4 is strip search. In 2003, 13-year-old Stafford, Arizona student Savannah Redding was accused by another girl of hiding 2 prescription-strength ibuprofen on her person, which were not allowed in the school without advance permission. The assistant principal of Stafford Middle School ordered Savannah to be strip searched by the school nurse. The young teen endured an invasive search of her. Most often, we reserve what we consider to be the most evil acts in society for adults. outcasts, members of society who simply grew up to be bad apples that committed some of the most heinous crimes known to man. But some of the worst crimes ever committed were not committed by adults. They were done by children. Rarely ever spoken of, there are some kids that committed crimes so bad, it's going to send a chill up your spine. Well, prepare yourself to dive into the mind of the most twisted children that ever lived, because here are the 10 most evil children in history. Number 1 is Graham Young. Graham Frederick Young was, at only 15 years old, dubbed the serial poisoner in England. Born in Easton, northwest London on September 7, 1947, Young's obsession with poison started long before he was ever caught. He tested a number of poisons on his family and friends, making his father's sister and even a number of his classmates at school violently ill by putting it in their food and drinks. His first murder took place on April 26, 1962, on Easter Sunday, when his stepmother died after consuming some tea that Young had added some chemicals to. Young's aunt suspected him right away, and the teen was arrested and admitted to the Broadmoor Hospital. However, after serving less than 9 years in the institution, Graham was released in February 1971, after which he went on a killing spree, poisoning 70 people and killing 2 of them. Young eventually died of a heart going down a path of one. Sometimes they need a little help. Indiana high school freshman, 15-year-old Colt Lundy, with the help of 2 of his friends, and 12-year-old also shot Danner at Lundy's side. The 3 boys murdered Danner because they planned to run away, and they simply feared that he would catch them and stop them. At only 12 years old, Paul Gingrich was the youngest person who was sentenced as an adult and was given 25 years in jail. Lundy was given 30 years, and Williams, who stayed outside during the killing, was given 6 years in the juvenile correctional facility. The first 2 boys are still in jail to this day, while the third was recently released. Number 3 is Edmund Kemper. At only 15 years old, Burbank, California, Edmund Kemper was arrested after he shot his grandmother and then his grandfather with a .22 caliber rifle, killing them both on August 27, 1964. When asked why he committed the murders, he chillingly replied, "I just wanted to see what it felt like to kill grandma." He added that he only killed his grandfather because he knew the old man would be angry over the death of his wife, and the boy wanted to avoid getting in trouble. Kemper was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic and was sent to the criminally insane unit at the state hospital, where he served for 5 years. After convincing his psychiatrist that he was rehabilitated,
Mom.
released on December 18, 1969, his 21st birthday. However, instead of becoming a respectable, good member of society, he decided to viciously murder 6 women, dismembered his mother that was ultimately killed. Number 4 is Jesse Pomeroy. Back in the 1800s, a 14-year-old named Jesse Harding Pomeroy became the youngest person convicted of murder in the first degree to secluded areas of Charleston and brutally beaten, often left with mangled faces and horrible permanent scars. Then, after moving to South
May I have to wait a second?
continued carrying out these violent actions. But then,
You can invite your
in
friends.
1974, Katie Curran became his first murder victim. Jesse kidnapped the 12-year-old girl and killed her, hiding her remains in an ash heap in his mother's basement. But it did not end there. After a 4-year-old's body was found mutilated, Jesse was arrested and Katie's remains were discovered. He was sentenced to life in prison and was nearly hanged before the governor gave him a stay. Jesse Pomeroy died at the age of 72, still an imprisoned man on September 29, 1932, of natural causes. Number 5 is Michael Hernandez. While some teenagers lose their temper and attack in a rage, others, like Michael Hernandez, wait patiently for their shot at revenge, making lists and planning their actions carefully. At just 14 years old, Hernandez wrote a list of people that he wanted to brutally murder and began his mission to complete it. On February 3, 2004, after luring a 14-year-old classmate named Jamie Gull into the boys' washroom at the Miami, Florida middle school, Hernandez proceeded to stab him 42 times and left him to bleed out on the floor while he simply went back to class with an attitude that suggested that nothing was wrong.
Not sure yet.
Teen serial
If you sleep near me, make sure you put your computer in and don't let it fall. It's floor, okay?
His own confession revealed that he had no intention of stopping Jamie. Disturbingly,
I may have to take some.
his own sister's name, who Michael was ready to murder in addition to his friends and other students. He was given a life sentence with 30 years tacked on for attempting
We just need
to kill another student.
2 more people.
Refused to enter the bathroom with him. Number 6 is David Braun. Arguments can escalate quickly and often lead to physical violence. But the thing is, when you're arguing with an evil psychopath, no matter what age, things can get even more out of hand much more quickly. Especially if the person that you're arguing with is anything like David Braun, who, at only 16 years old,
Wait, someone else joined.
roasted his immediate family with an axe. Around 11:30 p.m. on the night of February 17th, 1988,
Hey, Carson.
the teen had a bitter argument with his father in their Rochester, Minnesota home. An argument that left David so angry that he decided the next morning to take an axe to his father. Challenging, according to David, his father kept getting back up, so it took an even larger number of blows to kill him. Immediately after, the teen struck his mother, then walked into his 11-year-old brother's room and killed him. When he came back, he found his 13-year-old sister standing over his injured mother and brutally beat them both to death. Strangely, just hours later, he asked a female friend to skip class with him and confessed all of his crimes to her, after which he turned himself in. Braun was arrested on February 19, 1988, and was sentenced to 53 years in prison. He will remain in prison until 2041. Number 7 is Kipland Kinkle. Born on August 30th, 1982, Kipland Kip Kinkle was a troubled boy who was always easily frustrated and anxious when he was in school. He did very poorly in his educational pursuits, repeating the first grade and even was eventually diagnosed with a learning disorder. By the 8th grade, Kip was hiding guns in his bedroom, shoplifting, and had even been caught ordering books on how to build bombs. Then, on May 20th, 1998, 15-year-old Kip was arrested and expelled from his school in Springfield, Oregon after a stolen gun was found in his locker. Upon returning home after the interrogation, the teenager pulled a gun from his collection and shot his father Bill in the head, soon after shooting his mother multiple times,
more
killing
people.
her as well. But it gets even more disturbing, as the next morning, Kip brought his entire gun collection to his former school and opened fire in the cafeteria, killing 2 students and injuring 25 more. Luckily,
I'm gonna
students
start this
managed
and
to
there's 2
subdue
more
him
people
until the
join.
authorities arrived and arrested him. When he was questioned, Kim claimed that he heard voices instructing him to kill and that he wanted to die. He is currently serving his 111-year sentence. Number 8 is Mary Bell. Born on May 26, 1957, to a 17-year-old prostitute in Newcastle, England, Mary Bell was the constant victim of abuse from both her mother and her mother's various clientele, an abuse that she inevitably forwarded onto others smaller than her. On May 25th, 1968, a day before her 11th birthday, Mary strangled Martin Brown, a 4-year-old boy, in a run-down, neglected house in Scotswood, England. Afterward, both her and a friend named Norma Joyce broke into a local nursery and trashed it. However, unfortunately, the police declared this to be simply a prank and dismissed the evidence. Then, on July 26, 1968, Mary, with Norma's help, strangled a 3-year-old boy named Brian Howe in a wasteland near the nursery that they vandalized, with Mary doing unspeakable things to his body. Mary was convicted of manslaughter on December 17, 1968, declared a psychopath, and was locked up for 12 years. However, she was released in 1980 at the age of 23 and was given a brand new identity to avoid the spotlight. This means that she could literally be anybody, anywhere, at any time. Perhaps even your neighbor. Number 9 is Amarjeet Sada. In 2007, at only 8 years old, Amarjeet Sada claimed the terrible title of the youngest serial killer in the world. Born at Begusari, Bihar, India, in 1998, Sada's family was very poor. They lived in a small village. In 2006, the young boy murdered his 6-month-old sister, taking her from her crib at the local primary school where her mother had left her so that she could run errands. He brutally murdered her and buried her in a shallow grave before casually returning home as if nothing had happened. When he was confronted by people that suspected him of potentially murdering her, Sada freely and proudly confessed to the killing, even personally he was arrested on May 30th, 2007. When questioned, simply smiled and asked for purpose. Unbelievably, under Indian law, he was released after serving and is now freely on the street to do what he pleases. And number 10 is John Venables and Robert Thompson. On February 1993, 2-year-old James Butler was drawn away from the protection of his mother